Welcome to Go Go Kaiju Show, where we have a healthy obsession with kaiju. I am your co-host Kent. With me is your other co-host
Jason. How's it going, peeps?
So it's been what, a month and a half, 2 months, folks. I just got done telling Jason I have not had a very good year. It's been shit in more ways than one. In fact, it got worse this morning when Jason and I found out that one of our aunts passed away early this morning around 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So 2026 can fuck right off. I can't wait for this year to end. It's been bad for me personally. And I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. One of the things I want to do to start off before we have Jason dive into his once in a lifetime trip is I want to talk about Doug Pelton. He recently passed away. Well, gosh, maybe about 3 or so weeks ago now.
I thought it was maybe right after I came back from Japan.
It's been within
I'll have to look in the chat.
Regardless, he passed away relatively recently. And a lot of people had a lot of in memoriams and what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the term right now. Again, it's been a crap year. A lot of kind words to say about Doug, and we certainly do too. I keep forgetting because, and I would look for it, but I've got so much garbage on my Facebook. It's going to be difficult for me to find, but he had like a special nickname for us, you and I. I don't think it was Nessa Brothers, but it was something else, I want to say. He gave us a special...
Yeah, so according to the Facebook message that you sent me, it was May 25th that you sent me a notification that Doug passed away.
2 weeks ago or something like that?
Yeah, just about 2.5 weeks ago, because today would have been 2 weeks since I came back from Japan, so it was just a couple days after.
Okay, so I would like to talk about Doug Pelton. He passed away here about 2 weeks ago now. And I just want to take a moment to talk about him because he really was a fixture in G-Fest and in other individual people's lives for many years. I don't remember exactly who was the first person to actually greet and to talk to us at our first G-Fest in 2012. But I keep thinking if Doug wasn't the first, he certainly was like number two in terms of the individual who stopped and like introduced themselves and talked to us. And he always, I wish I could remember the nickname he had for us. I wish I could, because there were a number of birthdays where like he would send me a birthday message and he had a nickname for me, a nickname for you, and then a nickname for us when we were like together. And I wish I could remember that, but my Facebook, there's just so much stuff in there. It's hard to like find it.
I would at least say it may have been the Nessa Bros or something of the sort.
It could have been. I swear he had anywhere from like 2 to 3 separate nicknames for us when we were together. But he definitely was a fixture. I mean, for us, we went to G-Fest every year from 2012 to 2019, and he was there all of those years that we went. And I do remember him kind of within, I want to say maybe the final 2 years or so when we were going there, maybe even 3, whatever. He was complaining about his back hurting quite a bit and talking about just getting older and how much it sucked.
And I think from time to time his knees too, if I remember.
Yeah. But he had intended on continuing to go to G-Fest. And then obviously COVID happened. And there were 2 years off there. But even then, I think even in the early stages of COVID, I think, if I remember correctly, he was sadly having some issues that I think would have prevented him from even going had there been a convention in 2020 to begin with. But it's still a shocker to me. I mean, even 2 weeks later, it's hard for me to acknowledge the fact that he's gone. And I think part of it is just because I have not seen him since 2019 in person. And occasionally, yeah, we would message one another back and forth or comment on something the other one posted. But yeah, I had not seen him in person in like 7 years. And
because I think, because he fortunately never went to any of the G-Fest since it moved over to the Hyatt there.
And I do remember him saying, like, every spring or so, he was like, I really want to go. I really would like to go. But something was always preventing him from going. And then just he unexpectedly passed here just a couple of weeks ago. It was a shocker. And it was no secret. Like, he had been in and out of the hospital a fair amount in recent years because he would talk about it on Facebook, but nothing ever occurred to me that kind of suggested this is what would happen. And I don't know the details as far as exactly what happened. I just have gone off of what I've seen a handful of people post, but it to me sounded like it was an unexpected event that took place. Doug was a very passionate kaiju lover. Like, he was incredibly friendly. Always wanted to get to know you and to share his love of kaiju and knowledge with you, and then also to pick your brain as far as what you thought on the genre and with some of the individual aspects of it. It's a big loss. Like, I could tell even when we went to G-Fest in 2022, when that started back up, it was weird. It was different. Like, not only just was it in a different location, but the fact that Doug was not there, because it was hard to miss Doug. He was always one of the tallest individuals.
Yeah. I mean,
at the convention.
You can tell kind of the certain movements that he would make, and you kind of easily spot him within the huge crowd and everything. And he stood out, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. Just like I said, one of the kindest individuals ever. And like I said, he might have even been the first person to really have stopped and introduced himself when we first went to the convention, well over a decade now. And he really was one of the kindest people I've ever met there. And in fact, maybe the kindest person I ever met there at G-Fest in the odd number of years we went. Like I said, it's a shocker for me. He's going to be missed, and this is going to take me a while to process. And Doug, wherever you are, man, like, we miss you. You will be missed, and hopefully you're having a discussion with Takarada-san and Honda-san and all sorts of wonderful individuals that you loved and admired, and hopefully maybe one day we get to see you on a different plane. Yeah. Along with some of the other past attendees who also have sadly passed away the past few years too. So at least all of you are in a better place.
Mm-hmm. So. With that, I thought to not only ease us back into podcasting after about a month and a half absence, but I thought it would also be fun for Knucklehead to share his experiences in the land of the rising sun. Because let's face it, I think I can speak for you, Jason, when I say that I think if it wasn't for our love of kaiju, I don't think you ever would have maybe visited Japan, right?
You can probably say that because I think not long after when we watched both, was it Godzilla versus the Sea Monster and as well as Megalon, that sort of kind of got me diving more into the Japanese culture there. And I think I would probably say at least a couple years after watching those first two films and everything, that kind of got me interested as far as the culture, and kind of got me to think that one of these days I would want to travel to Japan. And here we are, I would say a little over 30 years, finally made that long life decision that I think it was finally time, and especially this year turning 40, I think it probably was the perfect time to do that. And saved up money in several months doing that. And like I told Kent, after that trip a few years ago, going to and from Hawaii, which is 7 hours each way, is like flying economy. Whew. rough ride.
Just doing it for like 2.5. And then when we went to San Francisco for 4 hours, like a handful of years ago, I'm like, this sucks.
I mean, I would say at least 3.5 hours for me, just flying in an economy within the country. I'm at least completely fine with that, but 7 hours to and from Honolulu, it was rough in the economy. So I told myself right after that trip, it's like, I'm going to at least go in business class for long distances. And this trip here, with it being 13 hours from Chicago, where I flew into Tokyo from, and then back, which thankfully was 10.5 hours, because, you know, with the jet stream and then obviously the Earth rotation and stuff made things faster. It's like, it's going to have to be business class at least. So with all the savings and everything, the plane tickets was obviously the most expensive, because it was a little over $7,000 just for the whole round trip for business class there. So
I hope you got like some free drinks and food.
Oh, I did. Like,
okay, good.
Champagne, and then you get the pre-select meals and all that stuff, both dinner and then breakfast.
Then it kind of pays for itself. It's still, I would still argue it's still kind of expensive, but at least you get some perks with it. By the way, in case this hasn't had a proper introduction, this episode is about Jason talking about his trip to Japan. So it's mainly a Jason-centric episode. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. But business class, it's all... if some of you have flown in business, it's all enclosed. So it's like one seat on the window sides and then two seats in the middle. So pretty much wide open. You get to expand, and the chairs themselves all inclined to where you can make a full-on bed and stuff. So it was great, but for me, I only did at least a few hours worth of naps to and from. But yeah, nonetheless, landed in Haneda Airport the next day. So flew from Des Moines to Chicago on May 6th, and then from there landed in Tokyo. Was it the 7th? And that was around 3:30ish in the afternoon there, and then checked in my hotel. Took about another half hour-ish there, and then and I stayed at a hotel which is right next to Akihabara station there, so stayed there for about a week, and then once I checked in, just kind of walked around for a bit, and then had dinner right after that, and then next morning, and then before I kind of dive in here, not gonna fortunately show any pictures or rotations and all that stuff. I'm gonna do a little bit of a curation and post a lot of these images onto our Facebook page. So by the time that this episode comes out, you should have at least seen a good amount of photos that I've taken during the trip here. So at least you can kind of take your time and kind of look at some of the things instead of just photos kind of rotating after a certain period of time. So,
well, and I just want to say you froze on my end. You look like this. I don't know if you can see me, but that's where you froze. I can hear you just fine, but your picture's frozen. So if you're going to try to show me anything, I'm not going to be able to see it.
It's fine on my end with the recording and stuff. It's just going to show whatever it's going to show.
I know it's just annoying looking at you and you're just you're stuck like that, but I can hear you.
But yeah, let me just quickly open this itinerary that I made out here. So pretty much the first full day was kind of exploring a little bit more of Akihabara, which was my home base for the entire week when I stayed in Tokyo. And then, so after landing, checking in, and exploring and all that stuff, when I was in Akihabara, my first full home base for the entire week there in Tokyo, my first full day was pretty much just kind of exploring more of Akihabara, and then I walked in the morning up to Ueno, where you had the Ueno Park, the zoo, and then the Tokyo National Museums. So kind of pretty much the primary thing is that I went into the Tokyo National Museum there, which is kind of at the tail end of this nice little trail that you have that goes through Tokyo Park, not Tokyo Park, Ueno Park, and then you had the Ueno Zoo off to the side there. It's just humongous, this park. It just seems like it was, you just kind of keep walking forever. It almost seemed like, and it was just really huge. And the National Museum there, it's like just has a bunch of stuff you kind of go in through, kind of this curated trail, kind of goes through the beginnings of Japan and all that stuff, and then kind of towards the modern day and everything of the sort. So you had your hand up. So what question did you have?
Did you take like a travel guide with you to like get around and stuff? Like a little travel book?
Not really. I just kind of had this itinerary and Google Maps of some of the places where I wanted to go or would like to go and all that. And then sometimes I kind of added in some things into the AI chatbot as far as some things here and there. But I just kind of winged it for most of the trip, and also followed along as far as my itinerary went, and try to do as much as I humanly possibly could with the itinerary and all that. But with the amount of walking, holy shit, it's on a different level.
Yeah.
Even with, going from one station to another via train and all that stuff, it's like I can still feel some of the numbness in my big toes, even after 2 weeks of coming back, it's like it literally that extreme of walking. But as far as like some of the train stations and all that, like if you do some of those walking videos that you see on YouTube, like you would think that you don't even know if you're going to get lost, or it seemed like you don't even know where you're going and all that. They have a lot of these signs that kind of show you directions of where to go and all that. And when you're there in person in these train stations or subway stations, they're actually not that difficult. They're much easier than you think it is. It's like you kind of know where you're going and how to exit some of these exits, and navigating through all the people, especially during rush hour. Rush hour is a whole other monster in it itself there too.
No pun intended.
Yeah. But yeah, I spent a good portion of the day, I would say the first half of the morning over at the Tokyo National Museum, and I've taken quite a few photos there. So once I curate all the photos and get them uploaded, my personal, and then as well as the podcast Facebook page there, you'll kind of see how it looks and everything. And then after that, went over to a Family Mart, just grabbed something quick, and then I think right around that time is sprinkled a little bit, but not much. And it's like so I pretty much walked from my hotel to Ueno and then walked back, and I took the Amayoko Cho alley, which is kind of this fish market. You kind of sell some of the seafood and all that stuff. It was kind of, and then some trinkets, candies and all that. And it's just kind of right along the main, one of the main loops there in Tokyo, there with the Yamanote line. And then kind of started trekking back and then explored more of Akihabara there, and kind of looked at some of the shops and arcades. Like there's this one store there, Super Potato, which is dedicated to just retro gaming, like from the 80s, 90s, like from the Famicom, and they've got these like retro arcade, like you can literally sit down and play some of these arcade fighting games. It's like if one of these days you and I go to Japan with your family and all that stuff and do that for a week, it's like I gotta take you over there. I think you would love it so much.
I'd just be like, let's go to Japan and just play arcade games, and like that's it. That's all we do.
Yeah,
we spend $14,000 just to go over and play arcade games.
Yeah, arcade UFO grabbing machines and trying to get some prizes and all that.
Yeah, it's like time to go home.
Yeah, and then after that, that was pretty much the day right there, just kind of exploring more of Akihabara and the browsing electronics and the whole anime culture and all that. And then as far as day 3, it was pretty much going through central Tokyo, had breakfast at this coffee shop, and then explored and went to some of the stores in Ginza, which is kind of the luxury part of Tokyo, and went through Ginza 6, where they had quite a few of the luxury stores. And then they have this rooftop area that you can go out, and they have this kind of this nice garden and foresty area, and you can kind of walk along the edge there where it has like this panoramic views of the Tokyo skyline there, and You can see the famous clock tower there within Ginza, as well as you can see Tokyo Tower and some of the other places there. And then after a good portion of the day, just kind of ventured towards Tokyo Station there. And I think you may have seen one of the images when I walked towards Tokyo Station of one of the buildings there with kind of the bridge from the train that was used famously in The Return of Godzilla, where he walks in between the skylines and stuff.
I don't think I saw that one. I know I saw that plaza with the old clock from like the 54 movie and like several other kaiju films. I remember seeing that one, but I don't think I saw that one.
But yeah, I took a picture of that building with the train, and sure enough, a Shinkansen comes in, and I think it was one of the bullet trains that he grabs up from the movie there. So it was like perfect shot. And before I went to Tokyo Station, went through that area there, went through the Hibiya Plaza where the new Shin Godzilla statue was located there. And I took photos of that, obviously. And I think it was around this time that they were kind of having some music festival there. And it was pretty windy during that day there. So they were kind of having some little music festival in that plaza there. So it's kind of nice to see what the locals were doing there during that time of day. And I was kind of resting there for a little bit after kind of walking a lot during that time, and then having a little bit of a snack. I took one of those melon pan bread things. If you look it up, it was it's spelled MELON and then PAN. They're pretty good. I think you would probably like.
Is it
those.
bread? Melon bread?
Yeah, it's bread. It's kind of circular, probably about this big, and kind of has this crisscross sort of pattern on top, and it's kind of dome-like thing. It kind of has kind of a nice sweet taste to it. First time having it, pretty good. So after that, kind of walked towards kind of this kind of that lawn strip plaza that's in between both Tokyo Plaza and the Imperial Palace there. And so took some pictures of that, obviously. And I think it may have gone to Tokyo Plaza first. Yeah, Tokyo Plaza for maybe about Tokyo Station for a little bit. Sorry, where they had so I kind of ventured around there, and then decided to go to the Imperial Palace where they had the garden, the east side garden there, where you can obviously access to for the public, and went in there for a little bit, and then trekked up to the very top of the remains of the Edo Castle there, and that was pretty sweet. Just kind of getting the views from there, and then the gardens. I got quite a few like really cool looking flowers here and there, as well as some of the trees where they were kind of being propped up by these wooden stilts. It seemed like that they've been there for decades, something of the sort, because you can kind of see how you're kind of getting some of the moss and stuff over the years. And then after that, kind of pretty much trekked around the western side of the plaza, the palace there, kind of on the outside there, and then kind of went by was it the National theater, and as well as the National Diet Building. Kind of walked right in front of that, took pictures of that, and then which eventually led me back to Tokyo Station. And this is kind of where I went down to, was it the famous character and ramen streets there, where they had stores dedicated to Ultraman, and then Kamen Rider, which this is where I got
to say, it looks like a Kamen Rider shirt.
This is the shirt that I got, and it's a 55th anniversary shirt because it got the logo there.
Can't
the
really
55th.
see it there.
Yeah.
I guess. It's wrinkled.
Yeah. So yeah, I got the shirt from the Kamen Rider store, and then had a little bit of a difficult time trying to figure out where this ramen street that I had, but apparently it was in the same area as the whole character street there, where you had like Kirby, Tomodachi, and then like One Piece and some of the others that you haven't been familiar with. It's like, I'm not familiar with some of these characters, but pretty much this whole entire street, as you call it, is just kind of like a little hallway with quite a few ramen establishments and all, and decided to go to this one ramen shop. I forget the name of it. It was pretty much famous for starting this whole skimming type of ramen, which is where you have the ramen noodles set aside in an entire different bowl there, and then you have the ramen soup itself with all the ingredients and all that, and you take the ramen noodles, you put it into that
The soup mixture.
the soup mixture, and kind of dip it in there, and then you eat it from there. So it's
You're partially making it yourself in a way.
sort of, yeah. And a lot of people say you get more of a better or different flavor from it than just having the noodles within the whole soup mixture itself. So had I would say lunch, dinner, or something of the sort.
I ate food for some type of the day.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of my whole day for day 3, and then as far as day 4, pretty much spent a good portion of the day over in the famous Sensoji Temple, which is the largest. Was it the Buddhist temple there in Tokyo? It's kind of famous for having like this long path full of kind of these souvenir like little shops, and then kind of going all the way to this big Buddhist temple there, and then kind of walked along some of the side streets, and as well as some of the arcade shopping malls. As far as like the arcade shopping malls there in Japan, they are pretty unique, and I think it's kind of a really cool way, like instead of just being indoors and inside of a mall like here in the America and stuff, they kind of have theirs outside, just kind of one really long or medium sized kind of street, and you see people just kind of riding their bikes maybe from time to time, although they're kind of trying to ban people from riding bikes in some of these arcades and all that. And then sometimes when you kind of get to like an intersection with streets going like in a different direction, you see some cars kind of crossing and all that. It was kind of a neat little experience, and seeing some of these smaller shops full of different goods, or small family mom and pop type of restaurants and the like. And then with that, kind of went along the Sumida River, where they kind of have some of these nice little pathways you can walk along the river and kind of see some of these boats with people kind of doing some leisures and then leisurely things, and then river boat tours and the like. And then later on that night, went to Tokyo Skytree. Boy, that sucker is really tall. I can tell you. And I'll show some of the pictures of when I went up there, and I think you've seen some of those pictures when I went to those levels. Like I did a kind of a deal where not only I went to kind of the main level, which is kind of that huge pod looking thing, but I went to the very top, which was like I think the max they can go up to or walk towards is 450 meters. So that's really tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool to kind of be up that high and just kind of look out and like over yonder as far as the eye can see. You can just see a bunch of lights of, buildings and street lights and all that. It was really cool. Just seeing it, especially at night, and it gets really dark there kind of right around between 7:30. Different from here, obviously.
Yeah, because like where I live, although we live kind of right on the eastern and in central time zone, so for us here, like it gets dark. Like if it's the first day of summer, it doesn't get dark here till like 10:30.
Yeah, and like when it gets like in the morning, like the sun starts coming up at around like 4:30.
Wow,
which is
that's a lot. Yeah.
Kind of the opposite. It's like in my first night, it's like when I sort of woke up from bed and I looked at the time, I was like, is this even right?
you slowly get out of bed and you kind of under your breath go, goddamn sun. Land of the rising sun though.
Yeah. And then after that I had dinner at Kura Sushi, which is kind of right next to Tokyo Skytree in a different building. It's kind of one of those famous revolving sushi bars and all that, along with Sushi Row. But and then didn't get back to the hotel, I think somewhere a little after 10:30 ish there. So, but yeah, it was a good night and an experience during that time, visiting the Sensoji temple and the river, and then experiencing the Skytree and even some of the back streets there of Asakusa there. And then day 5, it was kind of going to Shibuya there. Obviously the famous street crossing, pedestrian crossing there. And then as well as Harajuku, which is kind of famous for kind of like kind of the trends for the younger crowd there, like with the Takashita street there. Seeing a lot of the kind of like the touristy foods, clothes, and then kind of went into this one of the back streets there called the Cat's Walk, where they kind of had some of the niche kind of boutique sort of stores there, which was pretty cool and nice. And as far as Shibuya, just kind of going through a bunch of other shops, and then was it Subaraya? They had their headquarters kind of a little bit of ways from Shibuya there, so I kind of trekked over there just to kind of see where they were located. They're kind of in this one of the tall skyscrapers there, and then you see one of the signs that says Superaya Holdings Group or something of the sorts. And then I think sort of ended the day over at I forget the name of this big, huge Minji Jigu, was it Miji Jingu shrine. There kind of has these humongous kind of torii gates. You can kind of go through this really huge forested trail. It felt like it was gonna, like you were never gonna make it, but it only took maybe about 5 or so minutes. You kind of go by some of these sake barrels and stuff that you kind of see kind of stacked in rows and vertical and all that stuff, and then you get to the main shrine. There was like the whole walk and get to experience the shrine and everything. It was pretty cool and just like secluded. Like you really don't hear much of the traffic or anything. It just felt like you're kind of in a completely different place. There's like just taken out of the whole city experience there. That just how it felt like you were just placed in a random place, like in the middle of nowhere. It almost felt like. But yeah, so pretty much went through there before it all closed up for the day, and then that was pretty much it for that day. And then the next day went to the Shinjuku and Ikebukuro, and then kind of the whole Kabukicho and Golden Guy, which is kind of famous for like all these small like little hole in the wall bars and all that, which is kind of a little bit of a touristy area nowadays. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Finally get to see the Godzilla head in person, and as well as going through Godzilla Road there. Like as far as the Godzilla head, it's much bigger than it looks on like these YouTube videos and or wherever you've seen it. And did that, and then kind of was it Shin Okubo is kind of the Korean town of Japan there, so you get to see a lot of the small Korean shops and restaurants, and then food stands there. That was a pretty cool place. Trek from Shinjuku all the way up there by foot, and then after a little bit took I think it was the Yamanote line from there to Ikebukuro, which is kind of another kind of an otaku or anime kind of culture there, but not quite as big as Akihabara, but they kind of have some areas where you can look at as far as stores and shops. And then went to Sunshine City, where they had kind of some of the anime stuff, and then a really big Pokemon shop. But unfortunately, when I was there, that they had the whole Pokemon shop temporarily closed, and I think for a decent period of time, because I think that they were remodeling during that period of time. So fortunately, wasn't able to look into to that one. But as far as the Shibuya one, I forgot to mention that went to the Parco department store, which is kind of like an indoor shopping mall contained within a tall building there, and went through. Was it the Nintendo shop that's there? And right next to it is Godzilla store. I bought a T-shirt there. I'll have to wear it the next time. And then there was the Sega store. Then there was a pop-up store, which was a bit empty. But when I went back there before coming back home, buying some of the souvenirs and stuff, it was a Minecraft pop-up store there. And then you had the Capcom store there. And then you had... I think it was the Shonen Jump because it had quite a bit of, was it the One Piece that you see there? And then you had the Pokemon store there. And then they had some of the other character stores kind of floor below that with Doraemon and some of the other ones you may not recognize. And then I showed Kent a photo of this. I'm not sure if he remembers that. They had a dispensary of condoms like right out in the open.
Hey, man, like safety first.
Yeah.
Safety
yeah,
first.
but it was like, but just seeing it open just kind of like a family friendly area. It was like, it was a bit unusual.
That's one of the things I love about places like Japan. Hell, there are even European countries that are like this too, where the US is so conservatively puritanical, like they're afraid of things like sex and stuff, and I'm like, it's biology. Like, what do you think people do? How do you think you got here? Like,
but you know, with us growing up and all that, and just not seeing it out in the open,
right?
Like,
yeah. I would be like, hell yeah, like I might buy some just to support this.
yeah, but yeah, just. And then just kind of went in the back streets as far as EK Bukuro and all that stuff. And so, yeah, and then kind of went back to the hotel, rested for a bit, and then went back to Shinjuku around night just to kind of experience the nighttime of Shinjuku and Kabukicho and all that. It was kind of a bit of a different atmosphere compared to the daytime, where it felt a bit more business-like and all that. And then also during the day, this was kind of when I went up to the Tokyo government building. They had an observation tower on both of them, but I went on the south side, and that was pretty cool. And also forgot to mention, as far as Shibuya, they had the Shibuya Sky observation deck on one of the tall buildings there, and that was pretty cool. Like a lot of the observation decks I've been to, and I think I've been to a total of maybe 4 or 5 of them during this time of the trip, and that they were pretty unique in their own experiences and stuff. To get to see different angles of different parts of the city and what have you. So that was pretty much it of was it day 6. So with that, do you have any sort of questions or comments or anything?
Just love the condom machine. Props to the condom machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they had a kind of a little mascot to go with that condom machine too.
You know what? If that was my business, I would be like, we got to have a cartoon mascot.
Yeah. Well, just about
Seaman or something like that.
I would say just about. You could say just about almost anything over there in Japan. There's at least a mascot.
Yeah, why not, dude? Like, growing up in the 80s and a decent chunk of the 90s, like, everything for a while had mascots.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of pretty much the day for that. And then the 7th day, this is where I went to Roppongi Hills and then get to experience one of the, the Team Lab experiences there. So I went to... decided to do one of them, and I decided to do the Team Lab borderless one. I think you may have seen some of the photos for that. It was kind of an interactive art museum there, where you kind of go in these different areas that is just completely different from one another, and they have kind of like music, things just kind of talking, and or like creatures kind of doing like this little parade thing, and then you have like an area where it's just like nothing but kind of like these strings of crystal like thing, or walls being projected with a bunch of flowers, and then you get smell different areas, which was pretty cool. It was probably one of the most unique experiences, and if one of these days when we go over there for a week, I'll have to take it at least to one of those, and I think you guys would really enjoy experiencing these team lab experiences there. And then after that, walked around Roppongi Hills for a little bit, and then went to Tokyo Tower when the certain time came, because they kind of have these little appointment times for when you can go and go up to these observation decks. So went to Tokyo Tower. It was really cool to experience one of the original observation towers there, and then going into Tokyo Tower itself after many years of seeing it on TV and then getting destroyed in some of the Godzilla movies. And so I went into the main level there, and as well as the very top. And as far as the very top, it's like they made it to where they kind of had these like mirror angle like things kind of covering this whole entire area. It's like you were kind of dropped into another one of these team lab places, but it was Tokyo Tower nonetheless. So that was pretty cool. And so I was kind of there for, I think, probably close to an hour overall as far as Tokyo Tower goes. And then with I think it was this and Skytree where I got some of the souvenir photos taken, and then bought them, and I gave mom and dad kind of a larger version of a photo of me in Tokyo Tower there. So that was pretty cool. And then this is where I walked to the nearest train station and take me to Shimbashi Station, where it had this monorail that'll take you from there all the way to Odaiba, which is kind of this man-made island where they have one of the statues of Liberty. There is kind of a little bit of a miniature version there, and then famously it's like kind of has this mall area with arcades and all that stuff with Joy Palace, their theaters, and then famously known for having this life-size Gundam statue there outside.
I think I remember like seeing that in photos and different. Yeah. In fact, I think one of my Tokyo travel books has that, like either in the cover or in one of the sections.
Yeah, and it's like pure white, and I think it's probably a good thing that I saw it, because they I think maybe a week or so after I saw it that they announced that they're going to be taking it down and then probably replacing it with something else. They were, I think, with another Gundam or something of the sort.
So it's still like Gundam. It's just a different neck.
Yeah. So it was like probably a good thing I at least saw this unicorn Gundam mech one that they had there. So, but then as soon as I really want to explore more of Odaiba, but then that was when I saw the Statue of Liberty and then the Rainbow Bridge behind it, you had pretty dark clouds coming. So then I looked at my phone, and then it was like rain coming in. It was like, fuck.
I can just imagine you sitting there, you're just like,
fuck.
So it's like, damn it. It's like, as much as I would like to spend more time in Odaiba and trying to explore some more of this stuff, but then it's like the rain's going to be coming in. So it's like, I'm going to have to cut my day short a little bit here. And this is kind of the second to last day of my week stay in Tokyo. And then I kind of looked at my as far as the weather for tomorrow, because the next day was, I was planning on doing a full day at Kamakura, which is considered to be like the little Kyoto of around the Tokyo area, but it was south of Yokohama there. And it said that it was going to be kind of nice in the morning part, but then rain was going to start coming in at around around afternoon and all that. And so once I got back to the hotel and like to the train station, it started raining by the time I got there. So I was like, lucky me. Is like just few footsteps from the entrance of the main Akihabara station to my hotel is like, didn't have to be outside for that long. So where I stayed at it was pretty convenient, because it was kind of a strategic, because you can either get on the main loop of Yamanote station or take one of the trains that goes from east to west from either Asakusa or Shinjuku there. So it's pretty like strategic, convenient location where I picked on. I think I made the right choice as far as picking what hotel to stay at there. And I think the next day I sort of decided maybe just take a rest day here and just unfortunately maybe just do Kamakura the next time I go. And I think it was the right decision, because by around noon I just checked the weather app and the radar. Like, the red spots just went directly over that. So it's like I lucked out on that. But anyways, in the morning part, I decided to finally, after 3 decades, finally pilgrimaged to Toho Studios there, and just seeing that huge mural of Godzilla right on the corner there. Just, walking down the path and you just see it right then and there with the Toho Studios lettering underneath it. Man, just the whole birthplace of all the Godzilla movies.
It's too bad you couldn't get a tour, because I remember when during one of the G-Fest, they were saying, when Takarada was there for one of them, they were saying that when they did their G-Fest tours over there, Takarada was able to get them into Toho Studios a lot of times, because he was the guy, basically. And I don't know what the future of that holds, even for G-Fest tours over there. But I don't know what the tour situation is going to look like moving forward.
Yeah. But I think they did at least have, just recently did one of those G-Fest tours here not long ago, if I remember. I think it was maybe a year or two, something ago. But nonetheless, if you kind of walk a little bit towards the entryway, they had another mural of one of the scenes from Seven Samurai there. And then, of course, obviously, one of the statues of Godzilla right there, the bronze statue with his tail kind of digging into that concrete slab where it says Toho Studios there, where you've seen a bunch of photos from other fans that have ventured over there. And one of the other cool things when walking from the station to over there, in between that, they had those little kind of street pole type of canvas signs that you kind of see for like maybe certain days that they'll put up and all that. They had these put up specifically with Toho Studio stuff, and both sides had like Godzilla stuff on them. So you kind of know, obviously, yeah, you're pretty much in the right area of that. So that was pretty cool to see. And then after that, just kind of took the train back to Shinjuku Station, just kind of explored a little bit over there. And yeah, that was kind of pretty much it was kind of pretty much a relaxing day for most of the day there. And then the next day it was checking out the hotel and then transferring from Tokyo to Hiroshima via Shinkansen. Boy, the whole Shinkansen experience. I did the the green car, which is sort of like the first class sort of thing. So when you're there for about a couple of weeks and you never know when you're going to go back, why don't you just treat yourself for a little bit? So did that and sat on the side where you can see Mount Fuji. But unfortunately, when I was going from Tokyo to Hiroshima, it was sort of covered by clouds and all that stuff, but still took a little bit of photos. And you can sort of see the top of Mount Fuji summit there. But as far as the riding the Shinkansen, boy, that sucker is really quiet and you don't really hear much of the outside and everything. And I did
the U.S. needs to invest in stuff like that, man.
And I did the Super Express, the Nozimo Super Express, which only had a few stops in between from Tokyo to Hiroshima, and yeah, it was a nice smooth ride. You didn't really stop as much. I think there were maybe about a total of 5 to 6 stops along the way, with Nagoya, Kyoto.
Isn't that the
Osaka,
train that also
Okayama.
uses like magnets to propel itself? Is that right?
No, but I know that they're currently building like another Shinkansen that's solely on magnets. It's called the Maglev.
Because I knew there was at least something there.
Yeah, which is going to go much faster, and quicker compared to the current Shinkansen bullet trains. But yeah, I think it took close to 4 hours to get from Tokyo to Hiroshima. So then got off the train, and as far as Hiroshima goes, you can sort of consider it as kind of like the San Francisco of Japan, because they're famously known for having these streetcars kind of going like in the middle or right on the streets and all that stuff. So did that, got to my hotel, which is one of the tallest buildings there. And boy, I would say this is probably the best hotel that I've stayed at so far, because it was kind of high up. I think it was on the 27th floor, and it was a corner room. It was kind of had this panoramic sort of corner window where you can see not only the Hiroshima castle, but as well as the atomic dome building there, which was just fantastic. Just get to see both of those in one viewing. It was just great. And then during the same day too, just kind of walked over to the Hiroshima castle there and get to see was a few trees that survived the atomic blast there in 1945, and still growing some of the leaves and all that stuff, but you can kind of see some of the scars and stuff that the atomic bomb did to them. And then I think that same day too, went to another observation deck, which was about a couple blocks from my hotel there. It's like it's kind of unique. It's kind of sort of indoors, but it's also kind of outside too, with like these huge timbers kind of propping up this roof on top of this one building here, and it's like it's really unique. I'll post up pictures of it just to kind of get a better look at it. It's hard to explain, but this building itself, it's like if you want to go down, it kind of has this nice little path, kind of slanted path that kind of goes around in the backside of the building, kind of like a mountainside sort of thing. But also before that, you get to do this origami sort of stuff where you can kind of drop them into this humongous kind of area off to the side of the building where you can kind of see them just from outside, like these huge piles of origamis that have been made over the years, which was pretty cool. And then with this kind of rectangular path that you can kind of go down, they actually have like a slide. They can just use the slide down level by level. And I did take the slide.
Of course you did. You're like, me.
But then it's like you're going to have to kind of control as far as how fast you can go, because you can easily maybe injure yourself through that whole thing. But it was pretty fun nonetheless. And then just not far from that building was they had this little kind of granite sort of marker indicating of the exact spot of the hypo center there, right in with the alleyway there. So you get, that was pretty cool, and kind of had the information as far as the hypo center and how tall, like how far up it was. I think it was 600 meters when it detonated, and all that. And then, of course, went to see the atomic dome building there in person. It was, I would say, it's decently sized in person. It was kind of something that you would expect to see it, like how big or how, like, the size of that building is in person. I think it's probably the right size that you would think it is. And then after that, went through this, was it the Honduras Street? It was another arcade kind of shopping mall street sort of thing. And then went to dinner at this, was it Okonomiyamura, which Hiroshima is known for the okonomiyaki sort of thing. It's kind of like pancakes, but with noodles and meat and all that stuff. And had that for the very first time. Really good. I would definitely recommend it. And then that was pretty much the end of the day. And then the next day I was going to the Memorial Museum there, which is kind of this slim museum within the Memorial Park there with the internal flame and all that stuff. And that was something as far as the museum and all that. Is see a lot of, clothes from people that have, died, and then some pieces of buildings here and there of like see how some of these like stones were pried open from the force of the atomic blast and all that, and still see some remnants of shadow of actual people on some of these concrete slabs or pieces of buildings and all that. So yeah, that was something. And then after that, took a boat ride from there all the way to Miyajima Island, which is kind of famous for the Itsu Kushima Shrine, which has one of those torii gates out in the ocean or in the Bay Water there, and then kind of the little touristy shops and eateries and all that places. And they had deer there on the island, kind of like Nara, which is famously known for having deer. You can kind of get up close to some of these deer and take pictures of them. So that was pretty unique and all that. So yeah, that was kind of, and then had dinner again, some more okonomiyaki. I went to the same shop there, and then after that, checked out of the hotel, Hiroshima, and then traveled to Osaka there, stayed over in the Namba station there, which is kind of, and is kind of known for being kind of a lively area, not far from the famous Dotonbori street with the running man that you may have seen off the side of a building, and bunch of eateries and all that stuff. So got to experience a lot of that. I know we're kind of getting close to the time here, trying to go as fast as I can.
Jason has another place to get to.
Yes, seeing Masters of the Universe. That's very important. And then that was kind of pretty much that day. And then the next day was pretty much a full day of going to Universal Studios Japan. And this was something I've been wanting to go to for a while. And with last year going to was a Universal Studios Orlando, I thought this would be a perfect complement to kind of go along with that trip from last year. Go ahead.
I have heard from quite a few people, because we went to Disney World earlier this year. I have heard that the Disney World experience there in Japan is actually even better than what you get out of Orlando. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard about that too, but it's like I sort of thought about deciding between that or Universal Studios, but since I went to Universal Studios in Orlando last year, so then I was like, why don't I just compliment that last year's trip with the one in Japan? So I decided to do that. And kind of funny enough, with the Orlando trip from last year was the 35th anniversary of the whole theme park there. This year, I was there for its 25th anniversary, along with the 5th anniversary of the Super Nintendo world there, which it was kind of a freak accident in a way, but nonetheless, it was a good experience. Unfortunately, it's like I was wanting to do, was it this flying dinosaur roller coaster there, but it was temporarily down for maintenance until the end of last month, the last day of last month. So I was like, well, that was kind of a damper on my to-do list, but thankfully I kind of did most of the stuff I wanted to do as far as the certain things I purchased for my Express Pass, which was like a decent handful of rides to do in a short amount of time instead of just waiting in line for how long it was. Went to the Harry Potter stuff and like this one of the roller coasters that they have from the Harry Potter land. It's not the Hagrid's, it was the Hippogriff or Graph or type of roller coaster, which I unfortunately didn't do at the Universal Studios in Orlando last year, although I did do the Hagrid's there. So I decided to do the Hippogriff, or whatever you call that one bird horse thing from that.
I'm just gonna say a griffin.
Yeah. Did that? It's like, no joke. It probably that ride lasted for maybe like a minute and a half or so. It's like, it was really short, and also kind of messed with your equilibrium, like kind of kind of like the inner part of your ear to kind of balance you and all that stuff. It kind of messed with you for like a short period of time there once it got done. But and then of course it's like I had one of the Mario Super Nintendo wristbands and stuff where you can kind of do the interactive kind of punch up with the question blocks and all that. So I brought that along from my trip from last year. So did that and then went on the Donkey Kong roller coaster and all the rides there and Super Nintendo World and then saw some theater experiences there and then got a couple of souvenirs over at the theme park. And then it's like I know there was like one experience there, like it was kind of like the Simpsons ride, but it was something totally different. No, it was one of the Minion rides there. Did all that, and you can probably do quite a bit of. And then the Jaws ride. It's like even though that the Jaws ride over at the Universal Studios is no longer. I don't even think there was one at the Hollywood location. At least you get to experience the Jaws ride over at the Japan location. That was something I've been wanting to do. And glad I did do that one. That was pretty cool and got a little bit splashed because I was right along the edge where they had kind of the main finale of showing Jaws and stuff popping out close to.
Did it freak you out?
A little bit. A little bit. It's like you were, even though I was sort of expecting it, but just the way how it came up and like
it's still like it gets you because it's still fast and aggressive.
Yeah. And like in certain parts of that ride where like some of the things like explode and all that stuff with the fire and all that stuff, even though you're sort of far away from those areas, you can still feel the heat like it was close up to you. Like,
you come back, you have no eyebrows, and like the front part of your hair is singed. Like you're like this, but you still got hair back here.
Yeah.
you're like
but yeah, like a full day over at Universal Studios Japan, I would say it's quite the experience and something I would say would at least recommend doing just for a full day. And I think that was enough for that day. So with that, went to Dotonbori, experienced some of the foods there the next day. And then there was this one temple that kind of had this humongous, it's like a building. It was kind of designed as this kind of one of those lion heads and stuff in and of itself. You may have seen one of the photos of that there. And then finally get to see the Osaka Castle in person there. And boy, you know, some people say that look smaller in person. I would say I would beg to differ. It looks huge. I would say out of all the castles that I have seen there in person, that was probably the largest one that I've seen so far out of all the castles there. And then pretty much, you know, experiencing Dotonbori at night and then eating a lot of the street foods and stuff there. And then the next day checking out of the hotel there and going back to Tokyo. And then pretty much the last final days, it was just souvenir shopping. And then also it was pretty much raining for the final 2 days there. As far as the rain, it's not really too bad. And what they sort of consider rain as well as nothing more than kind of like a drizzle and stuff over there. And I was kind of looking at the radar showing like the dark greens where you think dark greens, you kind of get decent sized rain and stuff. It was sort of like kind of a lot of like drizzle and all that stuff there. And then it was pretty cool. So kind of good thing I brought long pants with me on the trip too, and just kind of explored a lot of I stayed at this one hotel in Shimbashi, which it's mostly famously known for kind of like a playground for salarymen after work, kind of hanging out with all the coworkers, going to drinking bars and izakayas and all that stuff. And then kind of in this little plaza where you exit out one side of Shimbashi, they have this kind of famous kind of locomotive train displayed there, kind of around this garden fence and all that. And then just kind of explored. I think during those final 2 days, went back to Akihabara, bought a few stuff from there, and went back to the hotel. And then the final full day went to Shibuya, bought some souvenirs, and then pretty much came back home the next day. Which took about, I would say, 24 to 26 hours. It's like I woke up from around 4:30 Saturday morning there, and then got back 10 and a half hours later, around 8:40 in the Saturday morning in Chicago, and then didn't get back here at my house, I think, till about 4:45 in the afternoon. So. Yeah, so that's pretty much it of the whole trip. So yeah, so whenever I can get around to curating what kind of images I wanted to display on the Facebook page there of the podcast there, I'll get around to it. So it should be up by the time this episode gets released. And so yeah, that's once in a lifetime 2 week trip of Japan right there.
Awesome. Glad you had fun. Hopefully that encourages other people to eventually visit, although with the current situation in Iran and airplane fuel going up. Yeah.
I would say at least for some of those that kind of live kind of around that area, you're going to have quite a few detours there and all that stuff. But as far as us here in the Americas, you'll just fly over, Canada, Alaska, and parts of Pacific and stuff. So not going to be too much.
And so with that, thank you, Jason, for all that nonsense. No, for all the wonderful experiences that you shared. We will be back in a couple of weeks. We will do Attack of the Super Monsters. That was one we were originally going to do about a month and a half ago, and for whatever reason, I don't remember what it was. We just said skip it for the moment.
Well, I think you were kind of having some was it Lincoln? Your son there was having some events there or something.
Yeah, it could be probably some family event.
Or I think it was you're taking your daughter there to one of the events or something there. I think it was. So it's like,
yeah. So
we'll just end it right here. We'll just come back in about a month or so.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get on some regular podcasting schedule again, but we'll do Attack of the Super Monsters in a couple of weeks and just resume everything from there. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so if you subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, and visit us on our own website at kaijushow.com there, where you can see both video and audio versions of our episodes. So until then, we'll see you guys next time.